Regresamos. Esto es Escuela TV. Escuela TV se transmite simultáneamente a través de Facebook, YouTube y Twitter. Síguenos. Escuela TV se transmite simultáneamente a través de Canal 28, Libertad 102.1 FM, Opus 1510 AM y Vive FM. Escuela TV se transmite por Vive FM en los municipios de Anáhuac, Sabinas, Cerralbo, Montemorelos, Linares, Galeana y Doctor Arroyo. Escuela TV, tercer grado, secundaria.
Hello, I am the teacher Luis Carlos Villarreal Martinez here in the state of Nuevo León. And today we are going to be practicing English. Before we start, don't forget, it's very important to wash our hands. As I told you before, we are going to be practicing English. So this is English number 3. Today's topic, a general review. What I want you to do in the class of today, we are going to be making a review about the 3 units. We are going to consider the most important products that you were practicing with your teacher in your school. Materials, very simple. I need your attention. That's gonna be our material for today. I don't want you to copy and I don't want you to be taking notes. I want you to pay attention and the most important, to practice English. Let's start with something basic. Remember some basic verbs and complete the sentences. What is this action? Sleep. What about this one? Yes, you're right. That's work. What's happening here? What is this action? Cook. What is happening with the grandpa? Action. Fix. Fixing the car. Do you remember that part of that famous movie? The action is run. Like, hey, Forrest, run. Let's continue. Let's complete these expressions. I at night, he in the company all day, my brother very well, my grandfather the car. Actually, this answer I told you it before. You very fast when you're scared. Then we are going to consider the previous knowledge, those basic verbs we were talking about. According to this, what's the verb? Sleep, fix, work, run, or cook? Number 1, I sleep at night. What's the answer for number 2? He works in the company all day, probably as your father. My brother cooks very well. Well, it depends. My grandfather fixes, a synonym of repair, the car. Then we have the number 5. You very fast when you are scared. What is that? Yes, run. That was our previous knowledge activity. I want you to check this picture. What is happening in this situation? You're right. This guy is getting bad service. What's the bad service? What is bad service? Well, bad service it's basically when you receive or when you experience a negative situation, okay? Then when you experience negative situation or bad service, you express complaints, like in this picture. What are the complaints? What could be a definition? What's the meaning of complaint? Complaint, a statement of unhappiness, negative. A statement expressing discontent or unhappiness about a situation, expectations not met. Like in this picture, satisfied or unsatisfied. Then we can see this lady reaction. So when you express a complaint, you are describing a negative situation, a negative moment for you. Then you express your complaint to the manager, to the gerent, to the captain, to the producer, etc. Think about, I want you to remember unit number 1, when you were starting 3rd grade. Where can we receive bad service? Think about it and help me. Yeah, that is one. When you are at the restaurant, probably when you order, where you order some tacos and then you receive your tacos and the tacos are cold. You're right. When you go to the hospital, and then many hours pass to receive the attention, and then they tell you sometimes, sorry, but we don't have the medicine. Number 3, at the airport, have you experienced a negative moment at the airport? When you are going to travel to the beach, when you are going to visit, or when you are going to travel to another country, and then your luggage is lost, or then you receive a negative service, a bad service from the people in the airport. Say hi to Guignac. When you are playing, when you are practicing a sport, and then there is the referee, and the referee marks something that is not fair, that is not correct. Okay? So we can get bad service in many places. Thank you for your participation. I know that you in the Facebook, you are participating. Solutions. Solutions are needed, and they are like an obligation to be. If you are the manager, if you are in the restaurant, if you are the gerent, okay? So you have to express solutions to the people that is getting a complaint. The first thing is define the problem. What's the problem? What's the complaint? 2, generate the solution. I will be, if I am the manager in the restaurant, I will be able to get solutions, to generate solutions, if I pay attention and I define the problem. Okay, sir. So the problem, your complaint, is that the soap is very cold. Don't worry. This is my solution. I will change your soap for one more. How do we express solution? Very simple. We have to talk in future. They are future actions, and we have to use the future indicator, will or negative, want. So if my solution is an affirmative solution, I will change your soap. If my solution is something, it's an action that it's gonna be negative, sorry sir, but I won't accept your credit card because it has no credit, okay? Then, ways to say sorry. It's not only, I'm sorry. Then we have some different options to say sorry. You can say, please accept my apologize. You speak very formal and you do not repeat the I'm sorry expression. It's my fault. You are accepting that probably you have an error, but you are getting a solution for it. Pardon me for this. I'm so sorry for that. And then you describe what will be your solution. At the time that you are expressing a sorry expression, the person that is furious, angry, that is complaining, the person will be unconsciously start to accept and to calm down. Excuse me for, and the description of the trouble. I apologize for that, sir, but I will check your son's result in the exam and I will move the final grade. That was rude of me. I'm sorry. So you can use, if one day you work in a restaurant and then you are the manager or you are the waiter, or probably if you are the chef, you can say some of these expressions to say sorry. Let's continue. Read and match the columns. Man, my soap, it's very cold. Oh my God, this fork is not clean. Number 3, Captain, the waiter hasn't brought the menu. Number 4, I asked for my check 25 minutes ago. So the problem is the time. The restaurant is terrible. They don't have air conditioning. Then we have the solutions. I'm sorry, sir, I will check the air system. You're right, sir, I will reheat it for you to put the food one more time for an extra minute in the microwave or in the stove. Don't worry, I will call the waiter. I'm sorry, sir, I will get it now. I apologize, sir, I will bring a clean one. For the number 1, man, my soap is very cold. Yes, you're right. Solution, you're right. I will reheat it for you. Oh my God, this fork is not clean. I apologize, sir. I will bring a clean one. Number 3, don't worry, I will call the waiter. Number 4, solution number 4, I'm sorry, I will get it now. And number 5, I'm so sorry, sir, I will check the air system. Then, read the complaint and choose the right solution. Here we have a situation. A student got a 5 in mathematics exam. I'm sorry, mom, I will study more. That's the solution you offer. Probably your father. He arrived home at 3 a.m. after going to a party. Sorry, it's my fault. I won't go out with my friends again. And that is your mom, very angry. Fortnite. Your friend is killed at Fortnite. Solution. Excuse me for that, friends. I will practice more. This is the product number 1, familiar and community environment. Social practice, understand and convey information about goods and service. Students will be able to revise and comprehend complaints. So the project number 1, in the unit number 1, has the objective that you can express your complaints or that you can be able to give solutions if you receive a complaint. We are going to return. We have a break. Don't go, please.
Escuela TV, tercer grado, secundaria. Esto es Escuela TV. Continuamos.
Sigue viendo Escuela TV.
¿Ventana? El canal Paca Paca de Argentina, con el apoyo de UNICEF, TAL, la Red México y Canal 28, te invitamos al movimiento Ventanas al Mundo. Todos los niños y niñas de Nuevo León pueden contarnos a través de un dibujo qué es lo que ven por su ventana. Puede ser real o imaginario. Envía tu dibujo con tus datos del 18 al 31 de mayo al correo ventanas.nuevoleón@hotmail.com.
Miro si hoy sale el sol, si está lloviendo.
Uso paraguas.
Todos los dibujos serán parte de una muestra digital donde participarán niños de toda América Latina, el Caribe, España e Italia.
Al pasto salgo a caminar. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Qué miras? Tu ventana, ¿dónde va? ¿Es la luna de Venecia o es el sol de Tucumán?
Por falta de oportunidades. Elegimos mirar diferente y el olvido de años lo convertimos en disciplina y valores con educación de alta calidad, prepas militarizadas, uniformes y alimentos gratuitos para más de 3.500 jóvenes. Esta es la mirada diferente. Gobierno de Nuevo León.
Canal 28. La televisión de todos.
Escuela TV se transmite simultáneamente a través de Facebook, YouTube y Twitter. Síguenos. Escuela TV se transmite simultáneamente a través de Canal 28, Libertad 102.1 FM, Opus 1510 AM y Vive FM. Escuela TV se transmite por Vive FM en los municipios de Anáhuac, Sabinas, Cerralbo, Montemorelos, Linares, Galeana y Doctor Arroyo. Escuela TV, tercer grado, secundaria.
Let's continue. Let's talk and remember about another product, the school laboratory. Usual things we use at the laboratory. Can you remember some of them? The lab coat. What's the lab coat? Well, very important. That's this cloth we need to use if you are going to enter, if you are going to get inside the laboratory to make a practice in your science class. Pencil and pen. The science book, very important, because when you go to the lab in your school, you check the information for the practice. Lab equipment. Do you miss your school laboratory in these days? I'm sure you do, because when we go to the laboratory, we use all of these accessories in lab, like the test tube, like the thermometer, etc. Have you seen them? Question. Have you seen these indications? When you go to the school laboratory, indications are around it, and it is as an obligation to have some of these indications. But what's the idea? Signs, colors, and indications. We are going to talk about officially what are the colors and what are the indications when we go to the laboratory. Prohibition or obligation. Like the no smoking, that is something that is making a prohibition, no smoking. The action starts with no, prohibition. Obligation, it's a red circle, and then the affirmative action, the mandatory action. Keep silence. Shh. Facebook people, shh. Warning, when you go to the laboratory, this color it's very used and very seen. Danger, high voltage. Danger, electrical hazard. The indication of warning, the yellow color, they make recommendations. They suggest, they want to prevent accidents or negative situations for people that is in the laboratory, people that is in the restaurant, people that is in the school. Then we have the category number 3. It's information. Well, what's the objective of information signs? Just to informate the people, like the indication of, hey, school laboratory at the entrance. Or lab coats must be worn in this area. It's a specific information for the community, okay? According to this, let's remember when you were doing an experiment at class. When you make an experiment, even in your house, it's necessary to define what's gonna be the practice. You indicate the name of the practice. Remember biology or science 1. When you are going to practice in the lab, the teacher presents what is going to be the practice, mentioning the name. Mention the materials. What will you need to use? What will you need to do the experiment? You describe the process, and this is probably the most important part of an experiment. Because when you describe the process, the people that is watching to you, it's gonna be, oh, that's why. So the instruction number 1, the science teacher indicate this, okay. Instruction number 2, I have to remember this, okay. So, very important part. Of course, when you finish the experiment, you observe and copy what's the result. Take a look on grammar. Should is used to express advices or suggestions. Example, you should take notes. Students shouldn't talk in class. But should, it's a recommendation, something to make a suggestion. Have to, this indicator, have to, this is mandatory, is used to describe obligations. Examples, you have to use the lab coat. Hey teacher, so if I don't use my lab coat, will I be able to enter in the laboratory? No, you will get a report. Students have to wash their hands after the experiment. So I have to comprehend the difference between should and have to. Should, it's for giving suggestions, to recommend, and have to, it's an indicator of mandatory actions. Then, unscramble the words and complete the sentences. Check the number 1. I read the instructions before the practice. And then we have a word that has no order, as you can see it in the parentheses. If I unscramble it, I find the answer. I should read the instructions before the practice. This is a suggestion. Number 2, you to add some salt. And then we have the word with no order. Answer. You're right. Excellent class. You have to add some salt. teacher should be walking around the lab during, and then we have an extent, then we have a long word, and it has no order, but I suppose that it's gonna be very simple for you. Yes, experiment. Teacher should be walking around the lab during the experiment. Number 4, I have the substances, and then we have this very simple word, mix. What is mix? Then, number 5, we have the results in our book, and then we have a parenthesis word. Probably it's one of the first verbs that you learn, that you memorize. You're right. Right. So we have to write the results in our book. Then it's time for a video. I want you to pay attention, not to the teacher this time. I want you to pay attention to the video, and then we will have an exercise. Pay attention.
My name is Colin Kilbane, and I'm going to show you how to make a tornado in a bottle. The things you're going to need a little bit of dish soap. You're going to need some glitter. Now, I use embossing glitter. That's super fine glitter. A pencil. A bottle with a cap that's nice and tight, watertight. Find a nice clear bottle here. This is just a travel-size shampoo bottle. And you're going to need some water. Here's how you make a tornado in a bottle. Take your bottle, a drop or two of dish soap. Now I'm going to put the water in. I'm not going to fill it up all the way. Now add just a touch of glitter. Take your pencil, dip it in the water, dip it in the glitter. Pull it out of the glitter, and then take your bottle and just dip it in. And the glitter should come off. Put the cap on, nice and tight. Let's see if we can get a tornado. Tornado in a bottle. And that is how to make a tornado in a bottle.
After the video, we have to respond the next activity. What was the name of the practice? What were the materials he used? And the most important, as I told you before, did you identify what were the steps, the instructions, the process? Well, the name of the practice is kind of simple. How to make a tornado in a bottle. And when he was shaking or moving the bottle, he was doing and he was repeating how to make a tornado in a bottle, etc. Materials. Dish soap, glitter, superfine glitter, a pencil, a bottle with a cap, and water. Then let's check what are the instructions. Well, number 1, you have to. So this action, is this an obligated, a mandatory action? Yes. So you have to add some drops of dish soap to the recipient, to the container. What is that? The bottle. Number 2, recommendation. So you have the option, I do it or not. You should fill the bottle with water. You have to spread some glitter. You have to close the bottle. And number 5, you have to shake the bottle in order to see the tornado in a bottle. Product number 3. So, if I consider the use of should and have to, if I consider that, I will be able to identify the signs, the indications in the laboratory or in the hospital, and I will be able for the next. Formation and academic environment. What's the social practice, the objective of practicing this in English? Understanding right instructions. Students will be able to revise instructions manual to perform experiments, to write instructions, to edit instruction manuals. So this part of the unit, it's gonna be very important. Active pause, say hello to patriots. Okay, so active pause, remember, let's practice, let's make some squats, let's get relaxed, forget about English for a minute, and I want you to stand up, and I want you to stretch our body. Stretch our body to make some squats. It's time for working out, time for exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent class. Now we have a break and we'll be back. So don't go.
Escuela TV, tercer grado, secundaria. Esto es Escuela TV. Continuamos.
Sigue viendo Escuela TV. 38 años.
Canal 28 está de aniversario y por ello te invitamos a disfrutar de los programas que hicieron historia en la televisión de todos. Leyendas de Nuevo León, Clave 20 y La Hora Dorada. Revive con nosotros estos programas este domingo 31 de mayo a partir de las 9 de la noche. Nuestra historia, 38 años.
Sana distancia. Yo sé que cuando eres niña, niño o adolescente, no es fácil quedarte en casa. Quieres ver a tus amigos, salir a jugar o ir de paseo. No te preocupes, esta situación pasará pronto. Aprovecha para jugar y crear. Lee, inventa relatos, investiga historias. Hazle caso a mamá y papá. Ayuda en las labores de la casa y haz ejercicio. Así, serás un héroe o una heroína contra el coronavirus. Y recuerda, quédate en casa.
Gobierno de México. Aprende en casa, capacítate en casa, sé productivo en casa, trabaja en casa, da lo mejor en casa, diviértete en casa, quédate en casa. Cuida de ti, cuida de todos.
Unidos somos mejores. El bienestar de todos es nuestra empresa.
Voz de las empresas. Consejo de la Comunicación.
Canal 28. La televisión de todos. Clasificación A.
Vamos. Esto es Escuela TV. Escuela TV se transmite simultáneamente a través de Facebook, YouTube y Twitter. Síguenos. Escuela TV se transmite simultáneamente a través de Canal 28, Libertad 102.1 FM, Opus 1510 AM y Vive FM. Escuela TV se transmite por Vive FM en los municipios de Anáhuac, Sabinas, Cerralbo, Montemorelos, Linares, Galeana y Doctor Arroyo. Escuela TV, tercer grado, secundaria.
Let's continue practicing English. What's a checklist? A list of items required, things to be done, or points to be considered. Sometimes your teachers, the mathematics, the Spanish teacher, when he is checking your reading comprehension, use checklists. Checklist is an instrument for evaluation. Like this one. Basically, we indicate yes or not. Let's practice with a checklist. You are going to help me in your house. You are going to help me saying yes or not, affirmative or not. This special moment. On 1988, Michael Jordan flew. Is this yes or not? What's the answer? Yes, and he became very famous. Actually, he continues, he is considered the best basketball player in the history. Number 2, do you remember this dance? Yes, we're talking about Michael Jackson. On March 25th, 2010, Michael Jackson made the moonwalk. What's the moonwalk? The moonwalk, it's the title, the nickname for his dancing trick. Yes or not? No, it was not in 2010. What happened in here? On July 21st, 1969, both astronauts, walked on the moon. Is this yes or not? Check the date, July 21st, 1969. Ask your mother or your father to tell yes or not. Let's see if they are correct. What's the answer? Yes. On July 21st, in this day, 1969, it was the first time that they walked on the moon. Let's remember this special moment for people like me that we love soccer. On June 22nd, 2005, Maradona, Diego Armando Maradona, scored the best goal in history. As you can see, this is Diego Armando Maradona, and actually that is the Azteca Stadium. On June 22nd, 2005. Yes or not? What's your answer? No. It was in Mexico City, but it was in 1986. In that moment, when Mexico organized the Soccer World Cup, the second Soccer World Cup that Mexico has organized. Number 5, we have the Twin Towers in New York. And then we have, on September 11, 2001, New York City was victim of a terrorism attack. Is this yes or not? You can ask your father or your older brother in your house. What's the answer? The answer is yes. Unfortunately, it happened. Remember that to talk about past events, we have to remember the regular verbs. Those with the ed and those like play, like played, like dance and dance. Actually, here in the Canal 28, we were taking a class about the past simple and the past verbs. Then you have to remember the use of irregular verbs. They change, they don't finish in ed. As an example, we have go and then we have went. Remember when we make the first class here in the Canal 28, class for English, we were talking about the simple past. Let's read. I am going to read, and you're going to be reading with me. So, last summer, I went with my mom and my dad to visit my aunt in New York. We traveled from London by plane. It took about 8 hours. I didn't get bored because I read my book. When we arrived, my aunt met us at the airport. She lives in an apartment near to the city. We took a taxi to her apartment. It was just 10 minutes away. Keep reading with me. On our first day in New York, we all took the subway into the city center. We visited the Empire State Building. It's the tallest building I have ever seen. We went to the trip of the building and we saw all New York City because it was a beautiful sunny day. The next day, we went shopping. I bought some jeans and 2 caps. Continue. New York is great for shopping because you can buy many things for less money and you can buy really nice clothes by famous brands. We visit many other places, but my favorite part of the holiday was when we went to the museums. I am interested in old times and I like reading books about wars in the past. My trip to New York was unforgettable. According to this, we are going to respond true or false. This is going to be very simple, class. My aunt lives in New York. Reading comprehension. My book was interesting. We wait for my aunt at the bus station. Number 4, the airport is near the city center. And number 5, the weather was rainy on our first day in New York. Let's check the number 1. It's true, it's real. It's part of the reading comprehension. Number 2, we have true. It's real. We wait for my aunt at the bus station. False, it was not mentioned. The airport is near the city center. True. The weather was rainy. False. We mentioned something very different. Product number 5, literary and ludic environment. Social practice. Participate in language games. Students will be able to revise word games to work with irregular verbs. Write sentences with irregular verbs. I am totally sure that you remember this part of the unit. I am sure that you remember the memory game. When you were in the classroom practicing with your teacher the irregular verbs. Sometimes teachers use Suggestopedia and they play music with irregular verbs. But I am sure that you in your classroom, in your school, you were practicing the irregular verbs with lotteries, with memory games, with Twister, even for Twister. My students made it, okay? So this is the product number 5. We have a break and we will return. Don't go.
Escuela TV, tercer grado, secundaria. Esto es Escuela TV. Continuamos.
Nunca, la salud de nuestras familias, alumnos y la propia es lo más importante. Es por esto que les solicito atender y cumplir con las recomendaciones que nos señala la Secretaría de Salud. Recuerden que en equipo siempre será posible lograr un ambiente familiar y educativo más armónico y seguro. Y por favor, quédate en casa.
Sigue viendo Escuela TV. Desde 1982, nos hemos convertido en un testigo de la historia del Estado,
un punto de encuentro entre la cultura, la educación y los valores. Un canal con sentido humano de la noticia, llegando a una comunidad virtual de más de 1 millón de seguidores. Gracias por acompañarnos en el camino. La televisión de todos. Canal 28, 38 aniversario.
O sea, no todo es que hacer, trabajo o estudio. También hay que divertirse. Juguemos en familia. Así mejoras el ánimo, la convivencia y el aprendizaje. Que cada miembro de la familia proponga un juego y encuentren el mejor momento de cada día para disfrutarlo. Hay para todos los gustos. Juegos de mesa, de destreza, concentración. Puedes inventar los tuyos. Así estarán mejor y más divertidos. Pero por favor, quédate en casa.
Gobierno de México.
Canal 28. La televisión de todos.
Regresamos. Esto es Escuela TV. Escuela TV se transmite simultáneamente a través de Facebook, YouTube y Twitter. Síguenos. Escuela TV se transmite simultáneamente a través de Canal 28, Libertad 102.1 FM, Opus 1510 AM y Vive FM. Escuela TV se transmite por Vive FM en los municipios de Anáhuac, Sabinas, Cerralbo, Montemorelos, Linares, Galeana y Doctor Arroyo. Escuela TV, tercer grado, secundaria.
It's good to be back. So we are almost finishing. Let's continue. Let's remember another product from the program for English. Do you remember the ing? The base form, the actions cook, eat, speak, go, do. And then we have the ing. Remember that it's cooking, eating, speaking, going, and doing. So basically, when the verb finish in a consonant, we only add the ing. We have a class here in the Canal 28 about it, so you must remember it. With verbs that end in E, we have to remove the letter, and then we have to add the ing. As an example, we have drive, share, write, dance, and practice. Then we have the ing. According to this, we remove the letter, and it's going to be driving, sharing, writing, dancing, practicing. Then we have another rule. When we have at the end of the verb a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant, we double the last consonant, and then we add the ing. What is that? We have swim. We have a consonant, a vowel, a consonant. Yes, we repeat the M. Swimming, we repeat, we double the M, the last consonant, and then we add the ing. Cut, consonant, vowel, consonant, cutting. We repeat T, and then we add the ing. Sit, setting. We double the T, and then we add ing. Setting. Get, it's gonna be getting. Plan, it will be planning. But what is this? Let's read. The past continuous is a verb tense which is used to talk about an activity that was in progress at a specific point of the time in the past. The emphasis is on the duration of the activity. That is titled the past continuous. Some teachers title or perform the topic as past progressive. It's important to remember the use of was for I, he, she, and it. And you have to remember the use of were for these pronouns, you, we, and they. So I can say, I was playing soccer with my best friend last Sunday. I am talking in past, but I am describing my progressive action. You were chatting with your best friend last Friday. Using past simple and past progressive. The carpenter was working when the police arrived. So we have the past progressive, and then we have the expression, that stop what was happening. The waiter was taking the order, interruption, when the manager called him. The girls were talking, in a specific, interruption, when her mother cooked for them. Time to practice. Read and complete the following sentences. Take a word from the box and use it, but use it in past or progressive. We have the number one. David George, when he, a crocodile nest. He watered when he, the rescue helicopters. He, when he, a noise. Then we have these optional words. Is, sleep, is, here, find, drink, explore, here, and is. But as I told you before, we have to use them in past or past progressive. Number one, David George was exploring when he found a crocodile nest. Number two, he was drinking water. He was drinking water when he heard, past of listening, past of hear, when he heard the rescue helicopters. He was sleeping when he, one more time, heard a noise. It was a practice about the past progressive mixed with the past simple. Read and create, very important. Read and create. Read the newspaper article about Tom Brady. You know Tom Brady. And make a sentence. Use past simple and past progressive. Here we have Tom Brady, and this is the newspaper article. Tom Brady is following the path of fellow legendary quarterbacks like Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and Brett Favre. And he's leaving the team. He will be most recognized with the 6-time Super Bowl champion. He'll be moving from the New England Patriots after 20 years with the franchise and continuing elsewhere in the NFL. Well, we have the new team for Tom Brady, and these are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the expression. I was driving home when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay team. Parenthesis, sad moment for teachers' life. Okay? It was officially the product number 8, familiar and community environment. Social practice, understand and cite oral exchanges. Students will be able to revise descriptions, regarding unexpected situations, something that you are not prepared for, something that is like a surprise. Describe unexpected situations in an oral or written way to make a testimonial. To make a testimonial. It was the product number 8. Special thanks. For today, we finish our class. I want you to remember the extra lessons Canal 28 will be offering next Monday with mathematics. You are going to be getting prepared, taking extra lessons for the prepa test, for the prepa exam. In Spanish, te recuerdo que a partir del próximo lunes, aquí en el Canal 28, en el horario de 6 a 7, vas a tener asesorías, vas a tener maestros que te van a estar dando algunas clases para prepararte para tu examen de admisión que presentarás próximamente en las preparatorias. Es muy importante que tomes en cuenta estas asesorías para ti. El próximo lunes iniciamos con matemáticas. Por mi parte es todo, te agradezco mucho tu atención. Have a nice day. Bye.
Escuela TV, tercer grado, secundaria. Escuela TV se transmite simultáneamente a través de Facebook, YouTube y Twitter. Síguenos. Escuela TV se transmite simultáneamente a través de Canal 28, Libertad 102.1 FM, Opus 1510 AM y Vive FM. Escuela TV se transmite por Vive FM en los municipios de Anáhuac, Sabinas, Cerralbo, Montemorelos, Linares, Galeana y Doctor Arroyo. Escuela TV, tercer grado, secundaria.